Hey Pam, Jessica here from Peterson SEO. Thank you so much for speaking with me earlier and accepting this free video. I am super excited that you did because today I'm going to walk through 3 strategies you guys can start applying yourself and today. And those strategies are going to make a big difference for your business. And I know that it will because we've applied these same strategies with over 50 other restoration companies just like you guys. And it's made a huge impact in their business. Now, you currently are getting about 166-ish people to your website per month, which isn't bad, okay? It's great. I'm happy to see you're getting that traffic. It's just that the traffic that is coming are for a national term or keyword. And even though you're ranking for that national term, you're not servicing the entire United States. So how much of that traffic is actually local, we don't know without really diving into your analytics, okay? And so we have to be focused more on your local and the areas you serve so that you can make sure the traffic you do get is converting, okay? And so not having these strategies in place that I'm about to go over means that you're also missing 60 to 70% of the jobs that are available to you every single month, okay? So today we're going to talk about your website content and keyword strategy, your citations, and then backlinks, okay? So as you can see, we are on your site and you have a fabulous site. You have just about everything I recommend to everybody on this site. So I'm really excited to share that part with you, okay? You really do have a good site. Now, when we get people to land on your website, we also want them to be able to convert. And so it's awesome that you have these contact us, click to call buttons. We definitely need that on every single page. But we have found when you have a website form, right up here at the very top of every single page, it can actually aid to your conversions by 80%, okay? So not only do we want to get the traffic here, but we want them to convert for you. Now, when it comes to actually ranking on Google, Google doesn't rank based on appearance. It is based on content. So you do need a lot of content, okay? You do need these separate pages for all of your major services, and you even have the right content silos and hubs going on here. I mean, this is absolutely awesome. Exactly what I would do, okay, or what I would recommend. So you have the right pages, you have the right type of structure, especially if water damage is your number one service that you want to be promoting. So you have this in place. Now Google wants this so that you can focus one specific page on a service and you can dive into everything about that service. Answer all of the questions people ask, show your processes, and hyper focus on those local keywords, okay? 90% of the time when people are searching, they don't know who you are, so they're not going to be searching that brand. As important as your brand is, we do have to hyper focus on the terms. People are actively searching for your services. So based out of Lubbock, you're going to want water damage Lubbock, water damage repair Lubbock, water damage restoration Lubbock, Lubbock water damage restoration. Okay, people search differently. You need to capitalize on that. Okay, and so while you have all of the fundamentals that you definitely need to have, and you even have service area pages, which is perfect. That allows you to be indexed and be found in each of the areas you serve. The biggest problem, the number one problem you have on this website is your content, okay? So you need a lot of content, but not just any content. You don't want just generic content. You want content that resonates and helps your website visitors, your customers, and it needs to be focused on keywords and having the right repetition of keywords, okay? You don't have any keywords. There's no keyword strategy, and this page also needs at least 1,500 words of written content or more. Okay. If your competition has more than 1,500 words, you need more than they have. Okay. So everything your competition is doing, we have to do better on. So whether it's the amount of content or the amount of times they repeat a specific word or keyword, we have to do more than they are to be able to rank. Now, you, like I said, this is a good looking page. You have a decent amount of content, just not quite enough, and there's no focus on the keywords. Same thing when I go through all of these service area pages. They're just very basic, very generic, and no keywords. And so you're not being indexed for keywords. You're not being found in any of these areas. Okay. Now, when we look at your competitors, okay, they're not doing most of this stuff either. And so when we look at why they're ranking, it's honestly, they don't have the SEO. They don't have the keyword structure either, at least for the water damage, okay? But they do have more repetition. So if we look on your website and look up water, we got 10 there, water damage. We have 3 for water damage, okay? Now, your top organic competitor here is Rainbow Restoration, a franchise, and franchisees usually cannot modify their content, so you always have an advantage over them. We just have to do better. And so they have a little bit of content. Your content is better. More information. These franchisees just get these generic pages they can't do a lot about. They do have a ton of blogs, so having more long form blogs, more pages, better quality content, more keyword structure is really going to help you. But if we look here at how many times they are using those keywords, they got water on here 14 times. And water damage 7 times. Restoration 3 times. Water damage, restoration, okay? So they have more repetitions of those keywords, and that's the only reason they're showing up higher than you guys, because they don't have any structure. They're not doing what needs to be done. So when you apply these strategies that I'm showing, you should have no problem outranking these guys. Now, when we do a search, your customers do a search similar to this, and when they do, there's 3 main areas that you guys have great potential to be in the top 4 on Google. And the first is generally going to be ads. Those are cost per click ads, local service ads, which can be extremely beneficial if that's what you want to do, as long as you, 1, have your processes dialed in to handle that, and 2, that you're using the right type of landing pages and you're not just sending people to your main website pages that will not convert for your ads. If those aren't dialed in yet, you need to get those dialed in, or you're not going to get a good ROI. Now, these next 2 sections get the bulk of the search traffic. This here is your Google Map Pack or Google My Business profile. And your goal is to be in these top 3, because 30% of people, when they're searching for services, come straight here and they don't go anywhere else. And so when you're not one of these top 3 companies, you're leaving money on the table and sending your customers to your competitors. So in order to get in this top 3 section, you do need to optimize that profile and go and get citations. And more than your competition has. So a citation is simply listing the name of the business, the address, phone number, and website, and placing those in a bunch of directories like the Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Glassdoor, Angie's, House, Home Advisor. All of those are awesome citations, okay? And even your social media profiles are citations. So we just need more than our competitors, and that's going to help give you a good boost into this top 3. And then this 3rd section here is the most important section. This is your organic section. This is where 60 to 70% of people come to find who they're going to work for, or work with, excuse me. And so when your website doesn't show up here for these searches and each of your services, then you're leaving those 60 to 70% of jobs on the table. So in order for your website to come here, it does come back to your website. Is it properly built with the right type of content and keyword strategy? And then are you supporting that with SEO? And so if we look here, this is Ahrefs, a paid tool we use to see how your website is performing. Right now, you guys have a rating of a 1.2 out of 100 in Google's trust flow. Google doesn't trust your website. And that is partly because of the quality of the content of your website, but more so the power you're sending to it. Your website is a tool, and like most tools, they require power. So we get power for our websites by getting backlinks. So we need a lot of backlinks. We need more than our competition has. But it is important to understand that not all backlinks are created equal. You only want to go after and get good quality, do follow links that are closely related to the services you're offering. And so those generally come from other home service business websites, vendors, directories, etc. that are closely related to you. And as you get more of those good quality links, this score is going to increase. Google trusts your website more, and it's going to promote your website higher. And it will help you to rank those keywords. Right now, you've been indexed for 10 keywords. You are getting about 166 people to your website. Like I said, that's not bad, okay? The problem is they're coming for fire restoration near me and carpet repair. And so anything near me is not actually near you. So we don't ever focus on those keywords. I don't know if this specific page is attempting to go after near me related keywords. Sometimes Google will just pick it up if you're ranking for something, but you're not ranking for anything else. So that leads me to think that somehow that page is trying to rank for this. Now, near me, since that's where anybody is, this is actually a national term, and Google will automatically rank you or show your website when people search for fire restoration or water damage. When they search near me, if you're ranking for those local keywords, you'll automatically show. So we just never focus or waste our time on near me, because you will just automatically come up. And like I said, the traffic here, because this is a national keyword, there's no way for us to know how much of this actual traffic is from your service area, okay? So we have to focus on the local keywords that are buyer intent, that are going to bring people to your website and also convert, okay? And when we look at your competitor, this is a franchise, and so this one location has a low score of 5. They're not really doing any SEO, and it makes sense because they're not allowed to fix what's wrong on their website for SEO to work. And their website does have, as a whole, has a lot of power, which does allow the franchise to push power to these franchisee pages, which does allow them to rank for keywords. But these guys only have 8 keywords, and they only get 33 people to their website. And when we look at these keywords, these are branded keywords. They're technically at the very bottom of the page, even though we see them higher on the page. And this is for the franchise, okay? And so these are people specifically looking for them. And then they've also been indexed for near me as well. They don't have any good local keywords. So again, all these people are going to be super easy to beat. You just have to do better. So please feel free to take this information, run with it, apply it yourself. Or if you'd rather have a partner in this, give us a call at Peterson SEO, because this is our specialty and we specialize in working with companies just like you guys. So please feel free to reply to my email, give us a call, and we would be happy to chat. And I'd also love it if you could send me some feedback on what you thought of this video. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.